Felix and Winston here. And yesterday's Fed announcements went completely under the radar. And nobody's talking about this, and it's baffling because it's literally the biggest piece of news we've had since the COVID bailout from the Fed. And that might sound like a big promise, but I'm going to walk you through this. And there's a slight warning here. This is going to get a little technical for the first couple of minutes, but understanding this will change your view of the market literally forever, says Winston. So I'm going to share my screen with you here and pop this on here. So what's it saying? It's saying, and this is a little weird language, but it's basically saying, I'll show you a chart in a second to make this even more transparent, but let me just give you the first-hand data first. Saying that since balance sheet runoff commenced, and that's code for allegedly money shredding, right? That's what they call that, money shredding. So the Fed can print and can shred money. And now this is a glorious sentence. As a percentage of GDP, the portfolio has declined to close to where it had been at the start of the pandemic. And they're basically saying that they didn't print any money. Fugazi, there is no money printed. They're back to where we were, if you take GDP growth into account, to the beginning of the pandemic. Now, this, my friends, and I'll make this as big as humanly possible, and you might want to take a screenshot of this because this is kind of, it boggles the mind to understand this. This little green line here is money, literally just good old money. How much money is there? And I'm talking US dollars, okay? I'm always talking US dollars. Nobody cares of any of the monkey currencies that you might be dealing in US dollars to anyone that matters. And we went from, this is where COVID breakout kind of happened. And we went from about 15 trillion, bear with me for a second on this. This is really, really, really important. It went from 15 trillion to the top here, about 22 trillion. So somebody enjoyed the money printer quite a lot, and they added $7 trillion to money. Now, where does that money go? Well, that money goes to wherever it can generate the highest return. A lot of that money went into the stock market, which is why we've had such a glorious time. I'll show you that in a second. But where are we right now? Well, this is now. And where are we? Well, we're at pretty much exactly the top of the money printing madness. And this whole idea that they shredded a little bit of money, well, they did that. Then the banks started to fail, and then they sort of undid it. So they haven't shredded a cent. All the money they've printed is there. And if Donald Trump gets his way, which is very likely next year, they're going to start printing money again. Now, why does this matter to you? It seems like a fairly abstract concept about random trillions of money. Well, let me show you one more chart. And I'm sorry, this is a little bit more sort of technical than perhaps some people would like, but understanding this will either make you a lot of money, or if you don't understand this, you are utterly clueless, like most people. That purple line there, let me get a purple pen, is what? What's that purple line? It's the NASDAQ. Q, Q, Q. Start of the pandemic, right? When Bill became happy. And where we are right now. Do you notice something? That the market basically moves in line with how much money there is out there. So I'm sorry to say, you're not a genius. I'm not a genius. Winston is, of course, a genius. But most of us, if you are in index funds and you made a lot of money, this is why. It's money printing. Nothing else. Nothing else really matters in the long term other than how much money there is. And therefore, that's what the stock market's going to do. Now, knowing that and knowing what Trump plans to do, what are you going to do? Well, you have two choices. You could either just buy the index and go, we're going to have a great, what is it now, another 3 years or something, 3.5 years, very likely. Or you could understand that there is a difference between good stocks and bad stocks. So since the pandemic, the QQQ, NASDAQ, right, those of you who don't know what QQQ is, NASDAQ, even that. This is since COVID. Sorry, I have to keep bringing that up. The NASDAQ did 209%. This is NVIDIA. Bit of an extreme example, perhaps, but it's a good example of most stocks did less than 209%, but the good stocks did 500%, 800%, 1,000%, or a lot more. And the difference is, this is what most people make if they can stay invested and they don't bottle out and they don't do something, a little moronic. And if you do something moronic, it isn't your fault. You haven't been taught how to manage money. But this is what the smart people are doing. Not necessarily that number, but more. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you are interested in potentially moving yourself from this side, which is most is average, right? Average is, I don't really like average. I'm not really somebody who goes for average. We kind of go for extraordinary around here, which is why Winston's so cute, right? He deserves an extraordinary life. He's enjoyed monsoon rains today, which is why he looks so happy. And if you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to move in the direction of the smart money. And the smart money understands how to pick those stocks, which sectors are going to outperform right now, and which stocks are likely to outperform, and who have some risk management, because something crazy is going to happen again, for sure. Guaranteed, right? There's also a way we can make money out of that one. So does that give you some value to really understand what the heck's going on out here? And a lot of the noise out there is just kind of noise. It's just sort of fugazi. So somebody like Tom Lee, bless his soul, he goes on TV and says, everything's going to go up. Well, in the long run, of course, he's right? And that's what most people are shouting, but they have zero kind of edge differentiation. They just know things are going to go up. And then they try to be in whatever is the latest thing. If you got some value out of that, put a 1 in the chat, my friends. And Winston will appreciate that. And you do a little bit more research on that sort of scale there. Bobby says 99% of people are afraid to buy any stocks outside their mutual funds. And yeah, it's because Wall Street makes a lot of money out of those mutual funds or those ETFs, right? So yeah, absolutely. And that's why I love you guys, because you are actually willing to look into something that's maybe a little off-putting at first, maybe a little scary at first, maybe a little hard to understand at first, right? So if you want to do that, I'll do one better for you. There's a link down below as well. I'll run a 90-minute live trading session for you guys on Saturday. I'll teach you how we trade, how we just do everything we do on Sundays. I do nothing all week, nothing at all. I'm the most boring trader in the world. I do very, very little. And it's free of charge. And it's going to give you, at the very least, literally, if you only pay attention in the first half hour of it, you will never have a big loss again. Never, ever have one of those stocks that's down 50%, 60%, 70%. It'll never happen to you again. I can guarantee you that. So come and learn with us, felixprehn.org/webinar. If you're going to join us on Saturday, put a W for webinar in the chat, or a W for Winston, perhaps. He enjoys these sessions. He's always joins us about these. How do you feel about uranium stocks? Feelings have relatively little to do with it, my friend. But we can, of course, have a look at the chart. I think it wasn't looking that bullish today, but we can have a look at it. We can have a look at it, at some of the uranium plays out there. Loving the W's there. PODA's flying. Brilliant. WWW win, indeed. That's what this is all about, isn't it? It's about winning for yourself, winning for your family. That's ultimately what this is about. Now, I'll give you another piece of positive news. Basically, there is going to be free money. Now, there's a problem with the free money, right? Why? It makes the rich richer. It makes the poor poorer. That's what the free money does, because it creates inflation. So if you're a salary man, then your salary is worth less and less and less and less. But if you are a stock owner or an asset owner, talk properties, that sort of thing, it's good news for you. So you might want to shift your focus on becoming a bigger asset owner. And that's what I realized thankfully, somewhat early on, as I pop open my equivalent of this is my champagne, basically. If I could open this. Oh, that's a big if, isn't it? Bloody thing. Costs more than a bottle of champagne, actually, but it's healthy. It's GAC juice, the official sponsor of this channel. We have no sponsors, by the way, ever. So if you ever think, oh, did this company pay him, or does he, whatever, promoting this? No, we don't do that around here. Why not? Don't have to. So why bother, right? So this little chart here shows you the macro conditions, the financial market conditions. And never seen red color champagne before. No, it's juice. I don't drink. Down here means we have easy money conditions. That green doesn't really pop very well. That blue, even. It's blue. Everything is green through my glasses. That's how you become successful in the market. Put on yellow glasses. We are at very, very, very easy land. And what does that mean? Well, it means that it's easy for the market to go up. That's essentially what it is. So we're just in very, very easy land in terms of money. And that's thanks to the Fed. They're printing that stuff. So learn how to take advantage of it, my friends. There's a link down below. There's a link in the chat. I'll put it in here for you again. And come and join us. Put a W in the chat once you've signed up for the webinar as well, so we can all see it. And you can use that empty bottle as a pillow for Winston. No, he deserves a proper pillow, doesn't he? Actually, it's pretty warm here. We live in a subtropical climate, so he often prefers the wooden floors, which is what his cheeks are resting on, because they're a little bit cooler than anything else. MP Materials has taken off. All right, let's have a look at a couple of stocks then. Here is the pre-market, which is looking Tesla 2% up. It's kind of irrelevant at this point. Oracle 1.6% up. NVIDIA, AVGO up. NVIDIA now a $4 trillion company. AMD up 3.4%. That's going to make us some nice money, which is good. Apple down some more, which it deserves. But yeah, look at this. This 4 trillion. 4 freaking trillion, right? And does that mean it's overvalued? Does it mean it's too high? Does it mean it has to come down? No. At all-time highs, it is easier to go higher than lower. Now, MP Materials, well, with Trump's wow, look at that gap up. With Trump's clampdown on copper and stuff like that, and basically China using their, I was reading a lot about that today, actually. There is just a shortage of certain rare earths that you can pretty much at present only get in China. So they have a bit of a leverage there, and they're using it in the trade war, and therefore alternative suppliers, most actually seem to be in Australia, but MP Materials is an American one, are flying, I would say. Is there any other news on this one other than that? Pentagon rare earth deal. Nice. U.S. Department of Defense drastically accelerate the build-out of the rare earth magnets. Multi-billion-dollar public-private partnership. Nice. I think I did a video on these guys a couple of weeks back, and I was getting killed for it for some reason. I guess it went up and then it went down, and people don't like that. But that was your second chance. Now up there, people are going to be chasing it, right? The breakout was down here, by the way, where that volume was huge. But yeah, beautiful. Congratulations to all you MP Material nuts. Where was the entry? The entry was here, right? So you're officially now 67% up, which is pretty good. Does that beat? This is my top holding at present. Avis, seriously. Doesn't get any more boring than that, does it? But it's 80% up, so I take boring any day. Ooh, Australia, says Phil. Are you down under, my friend? Yeah, Australia has a lot of mining, the capacity to mine it, and also probably a lot of these sort of rare earths down there. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The Europeans have some in Portugal and places, but they're pretty slow to the whole thing. Just Europeans generally are. I love that video. Thank you so much for that, says Jason. My pleasure. I'm having to use options to do my small funds available, says Stephen. No, you don't have to, my friend. And if you use options, please make sure you know what you're doing. Please make sure you understand risk management. Please make sure you understand volatility. Use the sliders we have in here on the bottom right of Trade Vision to start to visualize what these trades actually look like when volatility moves, when time moves, and so on, because that is not intuitive, and you're going to want to understand that. Now, where did I go? Where did I go? I seem to have lost myself. Seriously, what happened? What happened to me? I'm off the charts. Weird. How did that happen? I know I moved it, but okay, hang on. Let me just. This might cause headaches. Seriously, where did I go? Where did you go? That's a pop song, isn't it? I'm literally weird. So weird. The top there. Where did I go? I must have moved myself somehow off the screen, and now I can't find myself anymore. Interesting. Winston's still here. All right, so you'll have to do without me for some reason. But what we can do is we can pop me onto this one here, and hang on. Slight technical challenges here, as you can see. That's how you know this is live. So let me pop me onto there and change this to that, because the webinar is a little bit more important than Trade Vision today. Although I just had a chat today with my co-founder on Trade Vision, and we've got some cool stuff coming up. I'm excited about it. So mirror inside a mirror, yeah, I know, but Winston, go find Felix. I'm literally weird, says René. Yes, that is quite true. Can you give us some options trading, pretty please? Yeah, it's just a little bit more complex. Use the Alt tab. Alt tab. Yeah, I'm not sure that works anyway, we're back, so we're all good. It's a metaphysical problem, something like that. Yeah, something like that. I mean, in another realm, time isn't real, and all that sort of thing. What happened to me? Winston? I think he took the whole thing rather well, don't you think? He takes most things rather well. Let me plug out there, breakout. Well, it was on my buy list for the week, and freaking heck, it's a breakout, isn't it? Is that a breakout? I think it was 175. Yeah, there it is. 175 was my buy. Where are we trading? 174. It would be so funny if we make a lot of money out of plug, because I've been making fun of this stock for like years. I need to make sure my buy order on this one is set up. I think it probably is. I'm in the multiverse. Trade Vision integration with active brokers. That's a very good question, my friend. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Check it out, but I believe so. Now, what else is popping? DRS. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? That looks pretty sweet. So how did we get into it at $38? Was it some sort of, someone whispered something into our ears? Did we read something? No, it's just a bloody chart, up 24% there. NAK, wow, nice. That's nice, isn't it? Gap app continues to go up, another gap up. So our mining plays are going to be printing money right now, which is absolutely beautiful. What about something like SKE? Not a lot over there. What about some of the gold plays? Not a lot over there. What about that, what was it? Endeavor Silver Mines. Yeah, that's popping quite nicely. 544 up there. Thanks for calling the NAC breakout. My pleasure, Mark. Poet. Yaha. Good job. Very nice. Very nice. So today the market is popping all around. SoFi is looking good. I mean, everything is looking good, isn't it? Everything is looking good. And I'm telling you, that money printing, it's going to make us a lot of money. But there is a difference between being in the right stock, like that one, and being in this one, which is where most people are, right? Or even in Tesla, quite frankly, because at the moment, Tesla is a dud. Yeah, people are going to hate me for that, and that's okay. I can live with that. Pretty thick skin over here. It just doesn't make any sense right now. It will make sense again at some point. I'm fairly convinced of it. It's a genius product, but at the moment, it doesn't make any sense. Can we look at CC? Yeah, that's moving very nicely, isn't it? That's doing exactly what we said it was going to do. So very good. Still below the 150-day moving average line there. So still a little bit on the high risk side, but yeah, doing exactly what we think it was going to do. And now if you buy these sort of things, you are responsible for your own actions, and you better have some stops set up, some risk management. I'll teach you that too if you come and join me on Saturday. Again, link down below. VIX is sub 16. Yeah, I was thinking of buying some more VIX today. Looks good, doesn't it? Looks cheap. Looks very cheap. At some point, it's going to pop up. At least seasonally, it's probably going to pop up. Intel, that is starting to look also very impressive, isn't it? Weird thing to say, but yes, it looks pretty good. I see a lot of green this morning. Me too, but then I'm wearing glasses that make everything as green as well, which seems to help, doesn't it, Winston? Yes, it seems to help. There we go. So, Ramaco Resources. What is that? Class A, senior notes. Yeah, a nice little pop-up. Not as impressive as the other pop-ups, but still it takes us to the high of that day here, 1420. Coal stock, is it? Okay. Yeah, that could be interesting. Could be interesting. Archer, patience is wearing thin. Yeah, you'd think with all the DoD money flowing in that this thing would be popping, but at the moment it isn't. It's consolidating. It's doing nothing. It's just, yeah, it's doing nothing. You know, what we'll be looking at, well, at least above 11, ideally, obviously, above that one there at 12, but yeah, it's just not doing anything at all, which is sometimes what these things do. Ging, hello there to Hong Kong too. As soon as I sell Archer, George, would you please sell Archer so we can all make some money on this stock? Apparently you have that power. BBAI is done what? It's moving down a bit, isn't it? Not drastically so. It's still trading within yesterday's trading range there, but yeah, losing a little bit of steam and momentum. What did Scott say that was interesting? I missed it. Eagle Materials, AES. Wow. Yeah. And that's a breakout. That's a breakout. That's exactly what we look for, right? So it's there. That's maybe the wrong line. We delete that line. It's, if you just connect these highs there, more or less, right? That's that. And then you have your classic, by now classic, if you've watched me for a bit. If you're new to this community, you're wondering why this guy is so mad, then put an N in the chat or a new so I can see that you're new. But yeah, that's a classic breakout. And look at that volume. Other people noticed that too, right? So yeah, construction also making quite a bit of money here right now. Mara. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? Looks good breakout. And that doesn't mean you should buy these things, by the way. MSTR is frustrating the heck out of me, I must say. I mean, Bitcoin is at whatever it is, all-time highs or something, and this thing is just doing bugger all. I know it moved 4% yesterday, but not what we wanted to do. We wanted to like really pop, right? QSI, I think we might still be in that one too, but it's just going nowhere. It's just going nowhere just for show. If you get that reference, you're as weird as I am. It is just basically it's boxed in. It's boxed in this sort of zone here, right? And it isn't coming out of it. It needs to come out of it. It needs to go to over $2.10 or so to really do something. You get used to it, newcomers. Yeah, sorry about that. Steve, CB, Katie, I must apologize. This is one of the weirder channels on finance that you'll find. But what does seem to make it a little bit more palatable is that Winston's very cute. So that seems to help. Now, what else we got here? AMD, let's have a quick look at that. And then we have 6 minutes till the market opens. AMD is also popping up here, pre-market. That looks looking very good. Any particular reason on that? I thought we were going to get tariffs on semiconductors. Can't be Kathy Woods for sure. Yeah, just generally, I think semiconductors just flying up there. Estee Lauder, lipstick makers. Yeah, that's still looking good, isn't it? It's been, yeah, somewhere here was the buy, obviously. I say obviously, maybe not obvious, but it was above the 150 here, the kind of where it became lower risk. Above these recent highs too here. So yeah, I think this is a nice recovery play. Is it too late? I wouldn't necessarily say so. I mean, it's got a bit of a runway, doesn't it? To go back to all-time highs, it just needs to go up about 320%. So, who knows? HSBC upgrade. Yeah, nobody cares what HSBC does or says. Sorry, if you work at HSBC, you are irrelevant. Wall Street does not give a hoot about what HSBC thinks. What else we got here? Move Winston. Yeah, sorry, I thought he was off. Move the dog. The dog is called Winston. A bit rude, isn't it? Should always refer to people with their real name. Honey Badger, you're being evicted. You invested 65K last 3 years, and now you've got 200K. Brilliant. Congratulations, my friend. I don't know why you're being evicted, Honey Badger, unless you were a badger and you were, squatting, then maybe that's why. But obviously, I wish you all the best. We're in a position to just about buy a house outright, and I'll soon be in a position to sell a family. Just really wanted to say thanks to everybody for taking the time to do these sort of videos, which really help build. And he said something else there. Okay, Honey Badger, I'm very, very proud of you. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Focus on your risk management, and good things will come to you as they clearly are right now. So congrats there to you. And your sounds like your better half, perhaps, unless you're starting a Badger family, in which case, all the best to you. Now we've got 3 minutes. Somebody mentioned Boeing. Winston, what do you make of Boeing? Any thoughts? He sighed. Looks pretty good. I mean, the whole defense play, if you watched my defense video, nobody watched my defense video yesterday. YouTube always tells you, is it the number 1 or number 10, sort of in terms of ranking, and it was number 10, which is rather depressing. So, but Boeing popped, as did many of these stocks. What else have we got in here? Lots and lots of tickers, my friends. Appreciate that. We've got 3 minutes till the market's open. So give me important ones. Give me big ones. Give me ones that everybody's going to want to know about. Micron, not doing anything. It's just, maybe that's the second chance. If it breaks out again above sort of 128, 130 even, then I think we got another run there coming. What else have we got? Joby. Everyone's writing, I did. What did you do? What did you do? What did I say? Joby, that looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? Loads more tickers in here at sort of breakneck speed. Okay, let's look at Uber. There we go. Beautiful. And I keep saying, I think Uber is probably the number 1 beneficiary from self-driving. Yeah, I said it. Amazon, despite the almighty, as he's now known, Bezos, selling stock every single time we hit 223 and a bit, stock still hasn't collapsed, which is quite surprising. The last time he did this shenanigans, probably when he proposed, that's when we did the same pattern here, right? And then what happened afterwards? Well, the stock actually tanked pretty significantly, which turned out to be a big, beautiful buy opportunity. We went 22% down. So I'm not saying that we have to do the same thing here. I'm just saying the Bezos selling, it's got to stop for this to really, really, really improve. That's also Winston's wisdom on this particular stock, isn't it, Winston? Yes, yes. Okay, so the market opens in 1 minute. Hood. Hood's looking good. Hood's still looking good. Still flying up here. It's consolidating. It's going a bit sideways. That's okay. Volume is coming off a little bit there, so maybe it's just a bit of a break. You just want to have a stop somewhere below that set. I'm not telling you exactly where. It depends on you. It could be here. It could be somewhere there, but you're going to want to set a stop on that in case it does decide to take the plunge of a cliff or something, you know. Like Winston, who's literally just leaving the building. Where's Winston going? Winston, where are you going? Are you allowed to sort of roam around freely? Apparently. So just gone. The market is officially opening. What I'm about to do is going to be very noisy. Therefore, I'd suggest you avert your ears, take things out of your ears, or if you don't, then don't blame me for going deaf. There we go. The market is officially open, and someone's going, I'm awake. What happened? AMD rated 200 and upgrade. I mean, that people still pay attention to analysts. Isn't it baffling? Have you met analysts? They're sheep. They follow. If this stock was still trading at $60, that analyst would not have come out with that report. What else have we got here? Webull. You know, I completely slept through Webull listing. I had no idea. And it was a good job I didn't, I suppose. It's done absolutely bugger all since the listing. It's actually down somewhat. So, yeah, what's there to say? Not a lot. A lot of people who are pissed off. And when we go back up, all of these people who bought here in the glory days about a month ago, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to hold on and go, yeah, it's going to go back up from 13 to 70? No, those guys will sell when they go back to 0. So it's going to be a tough road up for Webull, I would say. Energy fuels. Yeah, popping out, isn't it? Popping out very, very nicely. A lot of the sort of metal kind of mining plays, sorry about that. A lot of the metal mining plays are popping out today. Here we are. So no chart. Yeah, sorry about that. What was I talking about? Webull. I was saying it was a waste of life. Move on. Now, Dash. Are you swearing, saying dash it, or are you wanting to look at DoorDash? Yeah, also near the top end of its zone there. Break out of that. So go to 249, and I think you have yourself another run up. Just got kicked out of 4 trades. Isn't that a good thing, my friend? Doesn't it feel wonderful? I love getting kicked out of trades. Absolutely love it. Kicked out of BE. What was BE? Bloom Energy. Oh, because of that opening dip there, right? Well, hopefully, unless you bought at the top yesterday, you made some money there, right? MP Materials, that's a pop and a half. It's coming down a bit, but it's still up 50.8%. Should we have a look if institutions were front running that one? So in Trade Vision here, you can see institutional dark pool trades. So let me just pop an MP here. Yesterday, not huge trades, but yeah, 100% bullish, the setups there. What about Tuesday? Nope. So nobody big really jumped in on this. And so far today, just one call buying, so not a lot really. You can literally see the live flow here on the day, which is very cool. You see 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, a minute ago. You can see what people are up to, and obviously look at the big trades. That's usually where the interesting stuff is. Arts, my friend, I love that you're a former teacher and you think that my teaching style isn't completely hideous. I appreciate that, and I thank you for that, because you know, there is a certain level of complexity in the market, but actually what we do is very, very, very simple. It's surprisingly simple, and it's so time efficient, word the German in me likes, that we have so much freaking free time. It's just glorious. It's absolutely wonderful. What did I do today? I did loads of things. I went for a hike in the rain, which is lovely, with Winston. I just played with him again in the park. I did I did the workout, Pilates. I'm a trainer. Just had a lovely day, really. Hanging out with the family, nice lunch, nice dinner, nice breakfast, slept in. And it's just life's marvelous. And I'm planning a little bit of trip that I've good. We're going on a trip next week, so I was planning a few things for that. And that's sort of me being productive on a Thursday. At least I think it's Thursday. Do you eat meat, says Vincent? No, I haven't since I was about 12. So for a couple of years, I haven't. You are very welcome to do whatever you like, but I have not. Where is Albert? Albert is in the kitchen room with the rest of his gang. There are about 7 of them in there, which is quite a lot. CC, stock we did a video on yesterday. It's looking good, isn't it? It's doing exactly what we wanted to do. It's moving on up. There's another song reference for you. Give it another $1 and we'd be in proper investable land, but it's looking good. How do you get protein for those handstands, says Scott? Good question. Well, I actually eat quite consciously for that. So I eat most of my food at home. I have a cook. So, and she makes some fairly high protein intense food for a vegetarian. I also take some protein shakes. And then, yeah, that sort of works. I think the protein industry has fooled us into thinking that we need these absurd levels of protein. But I'm also not aiming to be, the Hulk, if you know what I mean. I just want to be functionally fit. That's really the goal here. Seagull, another one. We're weird, aren't we? Pea protein. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that stuff, to be honest. Mostly soy, actually. I like the soy stuff. And then there are people that think, oh, it's going to give you boobs or something. No, that's bollocks. It's got phyto, whatever it is in it, not estrogen. It's phytoestrogen. So no, it does not give you man boobs if you are worried about that. My Estee Lauder is flying. It is. Yeah, 7.3% up, which is very, very nice to see. So we can have a quick look at a couple of our heat maps here, which is also a cool thing in Trade Vision now. We've got live heat maps, which is cool. So AMD up 3%, Oracle up, Tesla up 3.3%. And then you can make your own watch list for anything. So let's say I've got a watch list for semiconductor stocks, like every semiconductor stock there is, literally, because it's a sector I'm bullish on. And then I can very quickly visually see how the sector is doing. Because people often just focus on the leader. That can be misleading. I actually care a lot about the little guys, and we are actually often in a lot of the little guys. And that's how we make money. You see CC in here, for example. And a bunch of other ones in here that we've talked about. So very, very useful, I find, or... say Winston has his gold stocks. Yeah. I thought there were some more. Apparently not. You can see that they're not doing a lot today. So it's a very kind of quick way of understanding what's really happening here. Or here is some of our recent 28th June stocks. Well, I guess that was just a video I was probably doing. Right, probably. 7 July. These are probably some of the more recent ones. So yeah, we can look at what's going on there. Yeah, EXK. Remember that one? I did a video on that one. So I thought that was kind of an interesting one for precious metals, and the whole precious metal industry is flying today. Can you export that list? You can actually make these watch lists super quickly. Let me show you that. So you just go in here on the right. You click on your watch list, right? And then you want to make a new watch list, say, create a watch list, call it, test. And you can copy and paste a random list of tickers on there. So you can literally go Tesla, AAPL, NVDA, whatever, PLTR, SoFi, whatever, as many tickers as you want. Hit enter. And boom, they're there. So we're very, very forgiving. So just copy and paste a long ass list of tickers, and then you've got your own thing. Another question is how do I delete that one? There we go, delete it. And then once you're on a watch list, like this one or something, and you're looking at this ticker and go, oh, I want to add this to it, little plus logo symbol up here, you just add it to that, and now boom, it's on the list here as well, so you can see it. And then here you can see live prices as well. Airlines are flying, wow, Delta. But yeah, mostly the mining plays are flying very, very, very nicely, which is a cool thing to see. Try hemp or chia seeds. Yeah, chia, I'd eat some chia. Hemp, I'm finding the I'm talking about protein powders, guys, by the way. I'm finding them always a bit weird tasting, a bit too nutty. I've got some in the cupboard, actually. I don't really know what to do with it because even if I blend it, it seems to sort of ruin every other smoothie. So for me, so far, the soy root seems to be the best one to go. Put a list from an XLS or any sheets, says Scott. Yeah, exactly. Literally any list that you have of stock tickers, dump them in there and it's done. It's very, very forgiving, which is the intention. Can we see the quantum? I don't think I have a quantum one. We did a robotics one. That's quite a short one, really. I also delete these quite often. I don't sort of run them like, but yeah, maybe we should do some more. Here was a software one we're looking at a little while back. So it's kind of useful. I think it's kind of useful. And then there's a Felix one. These are basically all the ones I could potentially trade options on. Doesn't mean I have to, but it's kind of most of the major liquid stocks. So also quite good to have a little scroll through that. You can't see my screen again, can you? Sorry about that. We're just looking at watch lists. It isn't the most interesting thing in the world. But yeah, there we are. So Brent, glad you like and trade vision. Vega has the best taste and amino acid profile. I'm going to have to Google that. So now, then this is the time where you distract me, my friends. Vega protein powder. Who are Vega? My issue with it is always if it's like funkily flavored, and iHerb's brilliant, by the way. I don't like sweeteners. Natural flavors. So to me, that probably is already a no. I'm a bit picky like that. And stevia is also a no for me. I don't like the taste of the stuff. So sorry about that. I just don't like anything sweet, really. So I just have plain, really, there we are. I did a quantum one, I did. Okay, I don't know where that's gone. Tangents, love them. Can we see Kamada? Oh, we haven't looked at that one in a while, have we? Kamada. That's doing all right, isn't it? Not like the rocket ship to the moon, but it's doing all right. This is an Israeli pharma play, which I think is quite optimistic, but we'll see where we go. Very sour person. Well, yeah, I try to avoid sweetness. Back to making money, please. Why? Well, it's so fun when we get distracted, isn't it? Apparently not. SoFi is on the 20.99. That looks pretty sweet up there, doesn't it? Whereas the resistance at 20. So good stuff. Very good stuff. Do you place your orders from Trade Vision? No, I place them from Thinkorswim. So we have not integrated that because it's a pain. Although it is something I'd like to do. Monk fruit, yeah. I just don't like the sweetness thing, so I try to avoid. Stay away from stevia. Yeah, it's some weird stuff. You like stevia. Look, I think if you're growing stevia in your garden, brilliant, put it in your stuff. But I used to supply a company that made the sweetener for Coke Zero. And that was sort of a stevia derivative. And we supplied them the alcohol for it, ethanol. I have an ethanol trading business. And I just realized this is such a load of chemical bollocks. It's nothing to do with the actual original stevia leaf. So if Coke's using it, it's probably a good idea not to. Stevia is natural and healthy. Yeah, but only in the original form. So if you grow it in your own garden, which you can, then yeah, pop it into everything. Brilliant. It's probably actually quite good for you. But it comes as a powder. It's anything but natural. The only derivatives we like are options. I'm with you on that. Xylitol. Yeah, I also thought that was bad. And then people are telling me that xylitol is actually apparently healthy. My jury is still out on that one. I think it might be good for your teeth potentially, but I'm not sure that it's healthy overall. Now, the market is looking pretty chirpy this morning. Mining stocks are absolutely flying. If you're in any of those, then congratulations. Otherwise, Tesla is recovering mildly. AMD is flying. NVIDIA and Oracle and Palantir are flying. AXP. Some of the defense stocks are doing quite nicely today, so the market's looking pretty good. Just use honey. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Too off topic, says BS. Bye-bye. All right. That's fair enough. Fair enough, my friends. I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up before we get completely loony here. I wish you a beautiful day. Come and join me if you wish to learn how to make your money actually work just in a couple of hours each Sunday, and learn how to pick stocks, learn how to have amazing risk management so you take profits when you should, and you don't ever incur large losses again. That and more will be taught to you if you join me on Saturday at 10 a.m. New York time at felixfriends.org/webinar. There's a link down below, first one in the description, and I wish you a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in.